Hey guys, it's Aaron Morgan. I'm a content ambassador for BOWADX. Chad wanted me to do another video for you guys going over the gear that I take when I'm self-filming. So what I want to do, I want to break this into a couple categories. That way it's streamlined, I'm not rushing it, not getting ahead of myself. So the first category I'm going to go over is the bags. I will use one of two bags depending on what I'm doing. One of the bags I use for pretty much 90% of the season, and there's a few hunts that I'll take my other bag. So getting right into it, the first bag that I'm going to use, the one I'm going to use most of the time, is a Sitka tool bag. It has a pocket on the outside, straps on the outside, and then a pocket on each side of the bag. On the inside, you can hang it like this so that you can access all your pockets. You can see mesh, mesh, mesh. There's 3 pockets. Small, medium, and large. Let me open this up so you can see it. All right, here you go. So small, medium, and large pockets that you can access by hanging it on your hook. On the inside, you have a large main compartment. Then you have a small front compartment. And then you have 4 pockets on the other walls so that you can put stuff in. So that's what I'll use the majority of the season. It works pretty well. I'm happy with it. I haven't found the perfect bag, but it's about the closest I can find. Now, during the rut, I am attaching more things. I'm attaching, you have your calls, you have more spray, your food, snacks, other things like that you're going to put. I'm attaching more. I need more space, so I'll use this. This is the Sitka Flash 20. I don't like it as much. It's great for when you're hiking. If you're doing any kind of a hiking hunt, it's great for it. Let me put it in frame. But it's louder and it's a lot harder to access, especially if you're trying to be quiet. So I don't use it as much, but during the rut, it's definitely valuable. I like to use it. All right, so the next thing we're gonna get into, guys, is the cameras and the lenses that I use when I'm self-filming a hunt. All right, let's get into it. Okay guys, so the cameras that I use, I'm basically all the time I'm using a Sony Alpha series. I have a Sony a7 III and a Sony a7R III. And they're both used for specific purposes, but they're both pretty much this camera. I'm using my R actually right now to film this video. This is my Sony a7 III. I did a video a few weeks ago talking about a hunter angle setup, the angle that is behind the scenes of the hunter. And in that video, I talked about a hunter angle and a kill angle, or a tight animal, however you want to use it. I personally use the kill angle because it's the angle that you're using to get the kill on film. So on the hunter angle, I'm going to use the a7 III, and I'm going to pair that with a 24-70 f2.8 G Master lens. That's the lens I'm actually shooting this video with right now. And on that lens, I'm going to put this variable ND filter. This is the Peter McKinnon Polar Pro Peter McKinnon version, 2 to 5 stop, I believe, variable ND. Now, if you don't know what a variable ND does, it allows you to change how many stops of exposure you're able to take away and add to it. Okay, so the reason that I want this and the reason that I use this is because when you get in the stand, a lot of times it's, super bright. Let's say you're going to get in the stand at 3:30, 4 o'clock on an early season. You're going to want to have that cranked to where you're getting a lot of shade. That way you know exactly where you're at as far as exposure goes. And so I'll use that to make sure that I can still have my camera at f2.8, giving me that soft background and really bringing out whoever's in focus, whoever's talking, which in a case where I'm self-filming, that's going to be me. So I want to be able to really accentuate whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm doing, whether it's drawing a bow, ranging, glassing, whatever. I want to be able to accentuate that and make everything else look soft and more cinematic. So I will use that variable ND. There are cheaper options. Like I said before, I do this for a living, so I want to have as good a gear as I can. It just makes my stuff look better. Okay, on the kill angle, I'm going to use a Sony a7R III with the 70 to 200 f4 lens. So basically, literally the same exact setup as this. It looks the same. It's just a different insides. The reason that I'll use the A7R and the reason I always choose the A7R as my kill angle video is because while I'm in the stand, I also do a lot of photography. And if I'm wanting to get a shot of food plots or animals or whatever, I want to be able to crunch in and crop in and post and be able to get as much detail as possible. With the A7R III, that's going to allow me to have more wiggle room as far as that goes because it's a 42.3, I believe, megapixel camera. So I have more wiggle room as far as being able to crop in and still show detail. My other two cameras that I'm going to run are going to be action cameras. The GoPro Hero 7 Black is by far my favorite. I also right now I'm using the Garmin Verb Ultra 30. The Garmin Verb Ultra 30 I'll probably be changing out very soon for a GoPro Hero 5 so that I can use this remote on both of them to turn them both on at the same time and not have to reach for them. The reason that I have the action cameras, the video quality is not near as good. You can't grade them near as well, and the audio quality is just terrible. But the reason I use them is because of ease. So when I'm able to, when I have the time and I am conscious of what I'm doing, let's say I'm doing an interview or I'm drawing my bow to test my shooting lanes, see if it's comfortable, or if I'm ranging different objects, glassing, checking my watch, doing whatever, I'm going to use my hunter angle camera, my A7 III, for that so that I get the best footage possible. But when it comes time that a deer is walking in front of me, whether it be a doe or a buck, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to take this shot. A lot of times, let's say you're hunting over food, you're going to have 5 at least, God knows how many deer you're going to have in front of you. You could have just one or you could have multiples. So the last thing you want to do is be trying to reach up and grab and turn that camera on. So for action cams, the reason I use those is so that I have this clipped on my person at all times and I can just power it on and hit record with way less movement, and I'm still getting that behind the scenes shot of what I'm doing while the deer are doing their thing, and I'm going to take that shot. Alright guys, so moving on next, I'm going to go ahead and talk about audio equipment and how I set that up so that you guys know how you might be better served doing it. Alright guys, so audio gear is next. Audio is very important. I talked about it in my last video that audio is equally as important as video when it comes to quality. If you don't have good audio, you do not have a good video. It's as simple as that. Now I know this gear can get expensive, and the gear that I take, like I said, you don't have to have as expensive of gear, but you do want to make sure that whatever you can afford, you're getting the best option possible. If you can't afford it, lav mics are great. I personally use the Rode Filmmaker kit, and I switched out the cable that runs from the transmitter that I attach to me. The cable that runs up to the mic, I switched that out from the Rode to the Sennheiser lav mic. Just because they're better quality, they're more hardy, and the actual microphone itself is better, gives you a better audio quality. But I will put that on the hunter angle camera, the one that's over me getting the behind the scenes shot, and then on my kill angle I'll put a Rode mic. Rode, I use the Video Mic Pro. There's a ton of different options out, ton of different price ranges. This is just personally the one that I use, and that's going to give me that ambient noise. If you have bucks sparring and you want to get that on video, you're going to be able to hear that. A lot of times early season you're going to have evening sounds, the ambient, the crickets, and everything else going. So that is why I use both of those mic setups. One thing I always bring with me is a set of headphones. I have these in a pouch that I throw in my bag. No matter how good of audio equipment you have, if you don't check it to make sure that you're not clipping audio, like you're not going too loud or you're not too quiet or there's not interference, you could have everything in the world set up the way you want it to be, and then there's a mess up because of some kind of interference, or like I said, you were too loud or too quiet, and that's ruined your audio, could possibly have just ruined your hunt. So always check your audio. Very, very important. Okay, so next up we're going to go over mounting, how I mount all this stuff in the tree. Okay guys, so mounting. How are you going to mount all this stuff to a tree or a blind or what have you? So if I'm in a blind, I hunt out of tower blinds, I hunt out of ground blinds, I hunt out of all kinds of things. But if I'm on a ground blind, I will use this setup. This is a Manfrotto 055 tripod. Very good tripod, very sturdy. And then I use the Manfrotto 501 HDV fluid head. I also took this is just a newer NEEWER friction arm, and there's an area in here that you have a 3/8 hole. Screwed it in. This allows me to hook up my monitor to it so I can be able to see exactly what's going on. So if I'm in a blind of any sorts, this is what I'm using for my kill angle instead of a tree arm. If I am in a tree, I have the Muddy Hunter tree arm that I have a 500 MVH 500 AH fluid drag head on here. It's not quite as good as the 501 HDV, but it's still a solid fluid head. You won't be upset with it. It's a very good head. Okay, so that is the kill angle camera, the one that I'll have the 70 to 200 on, getting the shot of the kill depending on the situation. If I'm in a tree, this is what I'll use to put my hunter angle in the tree. So I have a Joby tripod. I took the ball head off of it because it's plenty powerful enough, plenty enough, holding power to hold my camera in that setup on it. So I'll screw this into the tree, and then I'll attach my camera on top of this, angle it toward me. And like I said, I want this 12 to 14 inches away. So, just a guess. I mean, you can even have it more. Pretty much as far as you can reach it comfortably, that's how far you need to have it away. You don't want to be doing that number to turn it on, but if you can reach up and grab it, that's the right distance if you have a 24mm lens. The wider the angle of the lens, the closer you can be. Okay, so on top of my hunter angle, I'll put let me go ahead and just set this up real quick. On top of the hunter angle, what I'll do is I'll have this set up just like this so that I'm able to catch what I'm doing. Okay, so hunter angle, I'm going to have the camera right here. So let's lay my hand as the camera on the hunter angle facing towards me. Let me get this in the frame. All right, so hunter angle, I got my microphone right there, and then I'll put the GoPro on top of it. Now, you might ask yourself why. The reason I did that, like I said, I might have said this before, you don't want to have to reach around and do it. You want to just be able to punch it on, but I want to have a good angle. A lot of times I will, if I'm filming a tree that I don't have a setup in, I'll screw this in and I'll put a GoPro on top of it. Or even better yet, I have this system. It's from Morph Pro, and it is a connecting system. So you can either use this ratchet, you can strap this to the tree. Let me take this off. You can strap this thing. I have a strap on it right now, but it's a base with a drill bit pretty much on the end of it. And you'll take this connector and you punch it in and it's connected. And then I can hook a GoPro. I can hook a lot of things up to it. It's called a Morph Pro system. It's from Outright Hunting. It's great. They come with bits that they have a thread like a screw, and then it has that bit on the outside. Take your drill, you screw them in to the tree where you want them if you have fixed stand locations. And I can literally walk up to get up on my tree stand. I already know everything's going to go. I can just punch it in right there. It's already ready to go. Very handy. Makes it a lot faster. A lot less movement of trying to crank stuff in because you already have your tree strap, you have your harness, you have your hunter angle camera that you're going to put in. The less you have to put in, the less you have to be doing this, the less time it's going to take. And like I said, the less movement, especially if you're hunting close to a bedding area. Let's see, is there anything else? Sometimes I will bring this with me. It's a hat clip for my GoPro. I'll put it right here, or if I have my hat the other way around, I'll put it up front like that, and then while I'm getting ready, it's ready to go, and it'll show kind of like a behind the scenes of me get everything set up. All right, guys, so I hope that was somewhat informative and that it helped you guys out, helped you guys kind of know how I would set up for a hunt. to get the best quality footage I could. If I'm filming somebody else, pretty much nothing changes. The only thing that changes is that I have the ability to always turn the hunter angle on, and so I'm always going to get the best quality footage. I will still run the action cams just for more angles to help with telling a story. If you want to be able to cut to another angle, a lot of times it'll help you get the audience more captivated and more, in tune with your video. So I'll still bring them, I still use them, but in a situation where I'm filming somebody else, I'm going to be able to run the hunter angle the whole time. Whereas if it's just me, because I don't want all the movement and I'm going to be focusing on getting my kill angle on what I want to shoot, and then obviously ranging and getting my bow ready myself, I'm going to want to make sure that I have as little movement as possible. So that's my setup. If you guys want to see more, I'll be let Chad know. I'll be sure to help you guys out and get you guys more. Thanks.